Very good morning to you all, and welcome to the second day of the orientation program of the Faculty of Urban and Aquatic Bioresources. I am Dr. Surani Chaturika from the Department of Urban Bioresources. Today, you will listen to a few important invited talks, and at the end of the session, we will be having a mentoring program. Which will be conducted by the faculty staff. The mentoring program will be an interactive session, and we need your active participation for that session actually. So according to the today's agenda, we have the first program is the library orientation program. We have our acting librarian, Dr. Manoja Samaradivakara with us today to talk about what are the facilities that you have in our library and how you can effectively utilize the library facilities. And first, she will give you a brief introduction about the library, and then you can have a virtual tour of the library. Okay, over to you, madam.
Good morning, newcomers. I'm Manoja Samaradivakara, as introduced by Dr. Surani, acting librarian of the university. On behalf of the entire library staff, I extend a warm welcome to all of you. I believe that you are so lucky to be a member of the newly established Faculty of Urban and Aquatic Bioresources of this prestige university. I stressed you to get the maximum benefit of it. And I am also very proud of getting this opportunity to address you at the very first inauguration and orientation program of the faculty. Dear students, you may use your school libraries and other libraries. With the experiences gained you there, you may think that the university library is also a place like that. And as centennials or Z generation fellows who were born with a tablet and a smartphone under your arms, you may think reading or referring a library is less important. And also you think information need of yours can be gathered via web. And you may think academic life in the university could be fulfilled via the technology under your arms. Exactly no, my dear children. Referring the university library is especially necessary to fulfill your university academic life successfully. And let's see why it is. If you try to get your information needs met without the support of the university library, simply through the web, you will almost certainly meet information challenges, a lot of information challenges. Let's see first one and the second one. One is information overload. You have your own experiences, and if you provide one keyword to the Google, you know millions of hits appears. Then how can you find the most suitable resources for you? How do you trace such a large number of hits to get selected the exactly needed one? Do you have all needed skills to narrow down your search to meet your real information necessity? Exactly no. Second challenge is quality of the information retrieved via the internet. How do you judge them? Their quality, accuracy, reliability, and currency. Then what do you do? Give up the web, or else filter your quality information. No, my dear students, you need some kind of specific information skills for those things. So you should use information and technology efficiently and effectively for success in the academic world and your personal lives. You should become lifelong learners and independent thinkers with emerging new sets of competencies. Those competencies are expected from students in higher education institutions in this information era. So what are these skills? They are information technology skills, critical thinking skills, communication skills, interpersonal skills, and also information literacy skills. If you are competent with these skills, then you can face information challenges successfully. From where can you gain these skills? The place is your university library. We are providing necessary skills through induction and individual support for your academic career in the university. You may have used your school library or other libraries and may believe that what a library can do. However, you will come to appreciate the power of an academic library, such as a university library, with time you are spending in the university. The university library is the research hub, and it is the information service for the university academic community at the point of necessity. The mission of the library is to provide sufficient resources in efficient and effective manner for three pillars of the university, that is teaching, learning, and research. Therefore, the university library is a user-centered organization which is focused on its users' satisfaction. Actually, they value access to information as fundamental to education, research, and leisure reading also. They provide up-to-date technology, one of the best means to reach students' goals. And your university library comprises with various types of resources, printed materials, online materials, such as ebooks, e-journals, and some of the electronic databases for ebooks and e-journals. Further, information technology has brought significant changes to libraries these days. Therefore, your library is the place you have to keep company during your degree program to be an information literate graduate or a lifelong learner by successfully facing the information challenges I explained you earlier. As you all are aware, nobody could physically access the library during the COVID-19 outbreak. So we have made plans to meet your information needs through the library. Actually, all are online. You can have the resources and services provided by the library online to your desktop. So your library is up to date. You do not have any doubt of that. And so you use the library resources and services given online, linking to the library website. Sometimes you may have a doubt that you have no resources related to your subjects as your faculty was formed newly for you. No, dear children, your subjects were taught at the under the Faculty of Applied Sciences, so plenty of needed resources are available for you. As you are registered students to the University of Sri Jayewardenepura, you can physically come to the library and refer books and other facilities provided in the library at any time you are free. And however, to borrow the printed materials, you have to register with the library. There is an application form in the library website. Please download it and send the completed application to the email readerservices@sjp.ac.lk. Then you will receive an online account for the library to borrow books of the library. And we have prepared a detailed video to introduce you our services and products. So I invite you to watch the library video and wish you all the best for your studies during your course on behalf of the entire library staff. Thank you.
Thank you very much, madam, and thank you for your informative and motivational talk to our students. I will share the video now.
ආයුබෝවන්. ශ්‍රී ජයවර්ධනපුර විශ්වවිද්‍යාලය පුස්තකාලය වෙනුවෙන් ඔබ සාදරයෙන් පිළිගනිමු. මෙම වීඩියෝ මගින් අප පුස්තකාලය සතු සම්පත්, පුස්තකාලයේ විවිධ අංශ, පහසුකම් හා සේවා සහ ලියාපදිංචිය සම්බන්ධ තොරතුරු පිළිබඳ දැනුවත් කිරීමට අපේක්ෂා කරමු. ශ්‍රී ජයවර්ධනපුර විශ්වවිද්‍යාලය පුස්තකාලයේ ප්‍රධාන අරමුණ වනුයේ ඉගෙන ගැනීම, ඉගැන්වීම හා පර්යේෂණ යන අන්ගයන් සඳහා විශ්වවිද්‍යාල ප්‍රජාවට අවශ්‍ය තොරතුරු පහසුකම් ලබා දීමයි. ඒ සඳහා පුස්තකාලය තුළ 2,75,000කට ආසන්න පොත්, දහස් ගණනින් වූ දත්ත පදනම් හා විද්‍යුත් සඟරා අන්තර්ගත කර ඇත. ප්‍රධාන පුස්තකාලයට අමතරව වෛද්‍ය පීඨ පුස්තකාලය, තාක්ෂණ පීඨ පුස්තකාලය, ඉංජිනේරු පීඨ පුස්තකාලය එම තොරතුරු අවශ්‍යතාවය ක්‍රමවත්ව ලබා දීමට සැදී පැහැදී සිටී. වාණිජ හා කළමනාකරණය, සමාජ හා මානව විද්‍යාව, විද්‍යාව හා තාක්ෂණය, වෛද්‍ය විද්‍යාව හා සමසෞඛ්‍ය විද්‍යා, ඉංජිනේරු තාක්ෂණ යන ආදී විවිධ වූ මාතෘකා යටතේ තොරතුරු අප පුස්තකාලය සතු වේ. මේ ඔබ දකින්නේ අප ප්‍රධාන පුස්තකාලයට පිවිසෙන ප්‍රධාන දොරටුවයි. ප්‍රධාන දොරටුවෙන් දකුණු පස ඔබට ක්ලෝක් රූම් දකින්නට පුළුවන්. ඔබට පුස්තකාලය තුළට ගෙන යන්නු හැකි පොත් බෑග් හා වෙනත් බඩු බාහිර ආදිය ක්ලෝක් රූම්හි තැන්පත් කළ හැකියි. ප්‍රධාන දොරටුවට මුහුණලා ඇති මේන් කවුන්ටර් හරහා පොත් බැහැරගෙන යාම හා නැවත බාර දීම සිදු කළ හැකියි. ප්‍රධාන දොරටුවෙන් වම් පස ඇති ඉන්ක්වයරි කවුන්ටර් හරහා ඔබේ පුස්තකාල සමාජිකත්වය හා අය කිරීම පිළිබඳ ගැටලු නිරාකරණය කර දීමට කටයුතු කරයි. ප්‍රධාන දොරටුවෙන් දෙපස එදිනෙදා පත්තර කියවීමේ පහසුකමද ඔබ වෙනුවෙන් සලසා දී ඇත. මේන් කවුන්ටර් පසු කර ඉදිරියට යාමේදී ලොබි ඒරියා, new arrivals rack සහ read rack වෙත පැමිණීමට හැකියි. ලොබි ඒරියා එක තුලදී ඔබගේ ලැප්ටොප් පරිගණක හා ජංගම දුරකථන charge කර ගැනීමට ගැජට් කෝණයක භාවිතය පමණක් නොව සුළු මුදලකට රසවත් නෙස්කැෆේ කෝප්පයක් රස විඳීමටද හැකියාව ඇත. new arrivals රාක්කය තුල පුස්තකාලය විසින් ඉතා මෑතකදී ප්‍රතිග්‍රහණය කරන ලද පොත්පත් පාඨකයන්ගේ දැන ගැනීම පිණිස ප්‍රදර්ශනය කර තිබේ. read rack එක මත ඔබට පසුගිය සති දෙකක කාලය තුලදී පුස්තකාලයට නැවත බාර දුන් පොත් නැතහොත් just written books පරිශීලනයට අවස්ථාව හිමි වේ. ඉතින් මේ ආකාරයටයි ප්‍රධාන පුස්තකාල බිම් මහල සංවිධානය වී තිබෙන්නේ. පුස්තකාලයේ සම්පත් කොටස් දෙකකට බෙදා වෙන් කළ හැකියි. ඒ මුද්‍රිත සම්පත් හා විද්‍යුත් සම්පත් ලෙසයි. මුද්‍රිත නැත්නම් print resources පුස්තකාලයේ ප්‍රධාන වශයෙන් නිත්‍ය විමර්ශන එනම් permanent reference, තාවකාලික විමර්ශන එනම් scheduled reference හා බැහැර දෙන lending වශයෙන් අංශ තුනක් යටතේ රාකගත කර තිබේ. පුස්තකාලයේ බැහැර දෙන අංශයේ පොතක් එනම් lending පොතක් සති දෙකක කාලයකට ලබාගත හැකියි. තාවකාලික විමර්ශන අංශයේ පොතක් එක් රැයකට පරිශීලනය සඳහා නිකුත් කෙරේ. නිත්‍ය විමර්ශන පොත් බැහැරගෙන යන්න නොහැකි නමුත් අවශ්‍ය නම් අවශ්‍ය කොටස් සුළු මුදලක් ගෙවා ඡායා පිටපත් කර ගැනීමට ඡායා පිටපත් සේවයක්ද පුස්තකාලය තුළ පවත්වාගෙන වන ලබයි. මීට අමතරව periodicals collection, Ceylon room, depository, English learning zone හා palm leaf collection යන අංශයන්ද පුස්තකාලය තුළ පිහිටුවා තිබේ. ශ්‍රී ලංකාව පිළිබඳ ඉතා දුර්ලභ පොත්පත් සිලෝන් රූම් නොහොත් ලංකා ශාලාව තුළ අන්තර්ගත කර ඇත. මීට අමතරව පශ්චාත් හා ආචාර උපාධි නිබන්ධන, රජයේ වාර්තා හා ලිපි ලේඛන මෙන්ම පුස්කොළ පොත් එකතුවක්ද ලංකා ශාලාව තුළ අඩංගුය. English learning zone යනු විශ්වවිද්‍යාල ශිෂ්‍ය ප්‍රජාවගේ ඉංග්‍රීසි භාෂා කුසලතාවයන් වර්ධනය කිරීම අරමුණු කරගත් අංශයකි. මෙහිදී ඉතා සරල බසින් ලියවුණු ඉංග්‍රීසි පොතපත පරිශීලනයට පහසුකම් හිමි වේ. Depository collection යනු අවුරුදු 30ක් හෝ ඊට වැඩි කාලයක් පරිශීලනයට නොගෙන වූ පොත්පත් රාක ගත කර ඇති ස්ථානයකි. ඔබගේ ඉල්ලීම මත මෙහි පොත් පරිශීලනයට හා බැහැරගෙන යාමට අවසර හිමි වේ. පීරියඩිකල්ස් ඩිවිෂන් එක යටතේ සංගරා හා වාර ප්‍රකාශන අධ්‍යයනයන් සඳහා ලබාගත හැකියි. මීට අමතරව පුවත්පත් ලිපි එකතුවක්ද මෙහි තිබේ. විද්‍යුත් සම්පත් නොහොත් e-resources වෙත පිවිසීමට lib.sjp.ac.lk ලෙස ටයිප් කර පුස්තකාලය වෙබ් අඩවියට පිවිසෙන්න. එහි e-resources ටැබ් එක මත ක්ලික් කරන්න. එවිට ඔබට online databases, journals, e-books සහ open access resources පරිශීලනය කළ හැකි වේ. මෙම e-resources විශ්වවිද්‍යාල භූමිය තුලදී පරිශීලනය කළ හැකිය. විශ්වවිද්‍යාලෙන් පිටතදී පරිශීලනයට USJ NetSphere හරහා remote access පහසුකම ලබාගත හැකිය. ඔබට වැදගත් වන පුවත්පත් හා සංගරා ලිපි අප පුස්තකාලය තුල වෙනමම එකතුවක් ලෙස සකසා ඇත. එම ලිපි එකතුවෙහි ඉන්ඩෙක්ස් එක ලබා ගැනීමට පුස්තකාලය වෙබ් පිටුවෙහි newspaper articles වෙත පිවිසෙන්න. අප පුස්තකාලය තුලදී පොතක් සොයා ගැනීම ඉතා පහසු කටයුත්තකි. එය පුස්තකාලයට පැමිණ හෝ මාර්ගගත ක්‍රමයට සිදු කළ හැකිය. ඔබට අවශ්‍ය පොත රාක්කය තුලින් සොයා ගැනීමේදී නිත්‍ය විමර්ශන පොතක් රතු පැහැති ආරාකුරෙනුත්, తాවකාලික විමර්ශන පොතක් කොළ පැහැති ආරාකුරෙනුත් ඔබට පහසුවෙන් හඳුනාගත හැකිය. මීට අමතරව English Learning Zone පොත් කහ පැහැති ටේප් පටියෙනුත්, ඩිපොසිටරි පොත් නිල් පැහැති ටේප් පටියෙනුත් හඳුනාගත හැකිය. ලෙන්ඩින් පොත් සඳහා එලෙස වර්ණයන් භාවිතා කර නොමැත. පොතක නාරටිය හරහා අලවා ඇති ලේබලය මගින් ඔබට පොතට හිමි අංකය සොයාගත හැකිය. මෙම අංකය ලබා දෙන්නේ අන්තර්ජාතික වර්ගීකරණයකට අනුවය. එය නමින් ඩිවිඩෙසිමල් ක්ලාසිෆිකේෂන් වේ. මෙම වර්ගීකරණයට අනුව පොත් මූලික වශයෙන් කාණ්ඩ 10කට බෙදා වෙන් කෙරේ. මෙම ප්‍රධාන කාණ්ඩ නැවත නැවතත් කුඩා කොටස් වලට වෙන් කර ඇත. උදාහරණයක් ලෙස සමාජීය විද්‍යාව අංක 300 වේ. ඒ යටතේ සමාජ සබඳතා අංක 302 ලෙස අංකනය කර ඇත. මෙහි අනුමාතෘකා දශම ස්ථාන ලෙස දක්වා ඇත. මෙලෙස සෑම විෂයක් ශ්‍රේෂ්ඨයකටම අදාළ අනුමාතෘකා සඳහා අංකයක් ලබා දී ඇත. මාර්ගගත ක්‍රමයට පොතක් සොයා ගැනීමට ප්‍රථමයෙන්ම අප පුස්තකාල වෙබ් අඩවියේ online public access catalog වෙත පිවිසිය යුතු වේ. ඒ සඳහා opac.lib.sjp.ac.lk ලෙස ටයිප් කරන්න. එලෙස ලබාගත් library catalog වෙබ් පිටුවෙහි search bar එක යටතේ ඔබට අවශ්‍ය පොතෙහි නම ලබා දෙන්න. උදාහරණයක් ලෙස ඔබට අවශ්‍ය ආර්ථික විද්‍යාව සම්බන්ධ පොතක් සොයා ගැනීමට නම් economics හෝ ආර්ථික විද්‍යාව ලෙස ටයිප් කරන්න. ඉන්පසු ඔබට එම ටයිටල් එක යටතේ ඇති සියලුම පොත් පෙන්눔 කෙරේ. එහි ඔබට අවශ්‍ය පොත මත ක්ලික් කළ පසු පොතෙහි අංකය, රාකගත කර ඇති ස්ථානය, පොත බැහැරගෙන යාමට ඇති හැකියාව ආදී සියලුම තොරතුරු ලබාගත හැකියි. ශ්‍රී ජයවර්ධනපුර විශ්වවිද්‍යාලීය පුස්තකාලය එහි පාඨකයන් උදෙසා බොහෝ සේවා හා පහසුකම් රැසක් සලසා දී ඇත. ප්‍රධාන වශයෙන් අධ්‍යාපන කටයුතු වලට අවශ්‍ය අන්තර්ජාල පහසුකම් සඳහා Wi-Fi facility මෙන්ම පරිගණකය හා අන්තර්ජාලය හරහා අධ්‍යයන කටයුතු සිදු කිරීමට Interactive Study Area ඒකකය පිහිටුවා ඇත. ඔබගේ අධ්‍යාපන කටයුතු සඳහා පරිගණකයක් නොමැති නම් ලැප්ටොප් කම්පියුටරයක් දවසක කාලයකට පුස්තකාලය තුල භාවිතයට ලබා ගැනීමේ හැකියාව ලැප්ටොප් lending facility හරහා පවතී. ඔබට පුස්තකාලය තුල යම් පොතක් හෝ පරිශන පත්‍රිකාවක් සොයාගත නොහැකි නම් එය වෙනත් පුස්තකාලයකින් සොයා ඔබ වෙත ලබා දීමේ ක්‍රියාවලියක් අප පුස්තකාලය සතු වේ. මෙය interlibrary loan ලෙස හැඳින්වේ. මේ සඳහා ඔබ විසින් අප වෙත අදාළ ෆෝම් එක සම්පූර්ණ කර එවිය යුතු වේ. ඒ සඳහා පුස්තකාල වෙබ් පිටුවෙහි ඩවුන්ලෝඩ්ස් යටතේ ඇති interlibrary request form එක ඩවුන්ලෝඩ් කර සම්පූර්ණ කරන ලද ෆෝම් එක අප වෙත එවිය යුතුය. වසරේ සෑම දිනකම පැය 24 පුරාම විවෘත පුස්තකාලයට අනුබද්ධිත බාහිර කියවීම් ශාලාවක් ප්‍රධාන පුස්තකාලයට යාබදව පිහිටා ඇත. විශේෂයෙන්ම විභාග කාල සීමාවේදී මෙය සිසුන්ට ඉතා ප්‍රයෝජනවත් අංශයකි. තොරතුරු සාක්ෂරතාවය හා තොරතුරු සෙවීම පිළිබඳ වැඩසටහන් එනම් Information Literacy Sessions විශ්වවිද්‍යාලයේ අධ්‍යනාංශයන්හි ඉල්ලීම මත පුස්තකාල අධ්‍යයන කාර්ය මණ්ඩලය විසින් පවත්වනු ලබයි. උපාධි නිබන්ධන හා පර්යේෂණ කාර්යයන් සඳහා නිවැරදි තොරතුරු ලබා ගැනීම ඉතා වැදගත් වන බැවින් මෙම වැඩසටහන් ශිෂ්‍ය ප්‍රජාවගේ පමණක් නොව අධ්‍යයන කාර්ය මණ්ඩලයේද පැසසුමට ලක් වී ඇත. පුස්තකාලය තුළදී පිළිපැදිය යුතු ප්‍රධාන කරුණු යටතේ ප්‍රධාන වශයෙන්ම ඔබගේ ශිෂ්‍ය හැඳුනුම්පත අවශ්‍ය විටකදී පුස්තකාල කාර්ය මණ්ඩලයේ නිරීක්ෂණයට ලබා දීම, විශේෂයෙන්ම විභාග කාල සීමාවේදී ආසන මිතුරන් සඳහා වෙන් නොකිරීම, පුස්තකාලය තුළදී ඔබගේ ජංගම දුරකථනය සයිලන්ට් මෝඩ් වෙත මාරු කිරීම හා විශේෂයෙන්ම රාක්කයකින් ලබාගත් පොතක් නැවත රාකගත කිරීම සිදු නොකළ යුතුය. එලෙස රාකගත කිරීමේදී අප විසින් පවත්වාගෙන යනු ලබන පොත් සංවිධාන පටිපාටියට හානි සිදුවේ. එනිසා රාක්කයකින් ගත් පොතක් නැවත රාකගත නොකර අසල ඇති මේසයකින් තැබීම හෝ අප කාර්යමණ්ඩල සමාජිකයෙකු අතට එය පත් කිරීම ඉතා සුදුසු වේ. ඔබ පුස්තකාලයෙන් ලබාගත් පොතක් අදාළ දිනයට නැවත බාර දීම සිදු කළ යුතුය. නැතහොත් ඒ සඳහා දඩ මුදල් ගණනය වේ. යම් හේයකින් පොතක් අස්ථානගත වුවහොත් ඒ පිළිබඳ නොපුමාව ඉන්ක්වයරි කවුන්ටරයට දැනුම් දී එම පොතෙහි වෙනත් පිටපතක් හෝ එහි වටිනාකම ගෙවීම ඔබ සතු වගකීමකි. එමෙන්ම විශ්වවිද්‍යාල අධ්‍යාපනය හමාර වූ පසු පුස්තකාලයට ගෙවිය යුතු මුදලක් හෝ පොත් බාර දීමක් නොමැති බව සනාථ කිරීමට නෝඩියු සහතිකය ලබා ගැනීමත් අත්‍යවශ්‍ය වේ. පුස්තකාලයේ ලියාපදිංචි වීම සඳහා රෙජිස්ට්‍රේෂන් ෆෝම් එක ඔබට අපගේ වෙබ් පිටුවෙහි ඩවුන්ලෝඩ් යටතෙහි ලබාගත හැකියි. එහි ශිෂ්‍ය හැඳුනුම්පත් අංකය වන්නේ පීඩේ අකුරු සඳහන් ඉලක්කම් 5කින් යුත් අංකයයි. ඉන්පසු ඔබගේ විස්තර ලබා දෙන්න. මුලකුරු සමග නම, සම්පූර්ණ නම, ස්ත්‍රී පුරුෂ භාවය, නිවසේ ලිපිනය සහ අවශ්‍ය නම් තාවකාලික ලිපිනයත් ලබා දෙන්න. ඉන්පසු ජාතික හැඳුනුම්පත් අංකය, නිවසේ හා ජංගම දුරකථන අංක ලබා දෙන්න. අප පුස්තකාලය තුළ සාමාන්‍ය පුස්තකාලයක මෙන් පුස්තකාල කාඩ්පත් ලබා නොදෙන අතර ඒ වෙනුවට ඔන්ලයින් ලයිබ්‍රරි account එකක් නිර්මාණය වේ. පුස්තකාලය තුළ සිදු කෙරෙන සියලුම ගනුදෙනු ඊමේල් මාර්ගය ඔස්සේ සිදුවන නිසා ඔබ විශ්වවිද්‍යාල අධ්‍යාපනය හදාරන සම්පූර්ණ කාලය තුළදී භාවිතා කෙරෙන වැලිඩ් ඊමේල් ඇඩ්‍රස් එකක් ලබා දෙන්න. මෙලෙස සම්පූර්ණ කළ අයදුම්පත් readerservices@sjp.ac.lk යන ඊමේල් ලිපිනයට එවන්න. සතියක පමණ කාලයකදී ඔබට ඔන්ලයින් ලයිබ්‍රරි account පහසුකම ලබා දීම අප විසින් ඊමේල් මාර්ගයෙන් දැනුම් දෙනු ලැබේ. එවිට ඔන්ලයින් පබ්ලික් ඇක්සස් කැටලොග් මාර්ගයෙන් පුස්තකාල ගිණුමට පිවිසිය හැක. යූසර්නේම් ලෙස ඔබගේ ශිෂ්‍ය ලියාපදිංචි අංකය හා පාස්වර්ඩ් ලෙස තරු 3 එනම් ඇස්ට්‍රික්ස් මාර්ක්ස් 3ක් ලබා දීමෙන් ඔබගේ පුස්තකාල ගිණුමට පිවිසිය හැකි වේ. පළමු වරට ඔබගේ ගිණුමට පිවිසි වහාම ඔබට ලබා දී ඇති පාස්වර්ඩ් එක වෙනස් කර ගැනීම සිදු කිරීම අත්‍යවශ්‍ය වේ. ඒ සඳහා Change your password tab එක ක්ලික් කරන්න. මීට අමතරව මෙම පුස්තකාල ගිණුම හරහා ඔබට ඔබගේ personal details, borrowing history, දඩ මුදල් ආදී සියලු දේ දැන ගැනීමට හැකි වේ. අධ්‍යයන කටයුතු පහසු කර ගැනීමට පොත් ලිස්ට් ලෙස සකස් කිරීම හා පොත් මිතුරන්ට ටැග් කිරීමත් මේ හරහා සිදු කළ හැකියි. මෙම පුස්තකාල ගිණුමෙහි වගකීම ඔබ සතු වන බව තරයේ මතක තබා ගන්න. මෙම වීඩියෝ මගින් ඔබට ශ්‍රී ජයවර්ධනපුර විශ්වවිද්‍යාලය පුස්තකාලය පිළිබඳ මනා දැනුමක් ලැබෙන්නට ඇතැයි අපේක්ෂා කරමු. මීට අමතරව වෙන යම් තොරතුරක් දැන ගැනීමට අවශ්‍ය වේ නම් පුස්තකාල වෙබ් අඩවියට පිවිසෙන්න. අදින් නැරඹෙන ඔබේ විශ්වවිද්‍යාල ජීවිතය පුරා පුස්තකාලය සමග රැඳෙමින් දැනුමින් පෝෂණය වෙමින් උසස් අධ්‍යාපනය සර්ව ප්‍රකාරයෙන්ම සාර්ථක කර ගැනීමට පුස්තකාලයාධිපතිනිය ඇතුළු පුස්තකාල කාර්ය මණ්ඩලය මෙයින් සුභාශිංසන එක් කරමු.
Okay, dear students, next we have our second resource person with us, Dr. Kasun Jinasena. Dr. Kasun is a senior lecturer attached to the Department of Computer Sciences, Faculty of Applied Sciences, University of Sri Jayewardenepura. Today, he will talk you about the learning management system, or the LMS. You will need this LMS through, you have to need an idea about this LMS throughout your academic life. Therefore, you need to have a good understanding about the LMS. So I cordially invite Dr. Kasun to deliver his talk now.
Thank you, Dr. Surani. Good morning to all of you. So let me share this. I think you can see my screen.
Yes.
As well as, okay, right. And the last presentation, the short video, you in detail, you saw how you can use these online facilities to access your library, university's library. And here we're gonna discuss some of the other facilities you can experience through online, either you are learning it online or when you come to the university physically. There also you may need to use some of these facilities, especially during the last COVID period, pandemic period, in science faculty. Not just the science faculty, but also in other faculties, we heavily use these online resources, online systems to conduct our lectures. So there, learning management system is one of the key component of that. So I'll show them in detail. Apart from that, we use Zoom to deliver the online lectures. And some of the lecturers, they use Google Team, Microsoft Team, Google Meet, and also Google Classroom, depend on their interest. So mostly you'll be using the LMS and the Zoom facility in your online teaching, online learning. But as I said, even if you attend physically, the learning management system will be a very useful site for you to do your studies, because via that you will get your assignments, your quizzes, and other information, right? So I'll show you that in detail. And apart from these platforms, you may need to access university website, faculty website, and also department websites to get the latest news. And you will be given an email address. So pretty soon you will get a university email address, and that via that also you will get messages, university messages. And some of the lecturers might use WhatsApp group to disseminate messages. So it's better you also having a WhatsApp account. And students group will also create their group among themselves, so that you can quite easily distribute your messages. So these are necessary for you to have your communication, conduct the communication between your group as well as with the university staff. And if we start with this, university will be given a free university email address for all the students. So during your study time at university, it is important for you to use this email address for the official communications, right? As much as possible, to use your official email address, university email address, for the communication rather than your personal email addresses. Please do not use this email address for your personal thing, right? But this university email address will be very helpful for you to get some of the online resources, especially there you can prove that you are a student, of University of Sri Jayewardenepura. And I think within a week or two, you'll be given these email addresses. So if anybody find any problem regarding the email addresses or the LMS accounts, you can contact Dr. Janitha. And apart from the email address, you also be given an LMS account. And you can use this email address to access University's free Wi-Fi facilities. I assume that you all have access the University website right now. The URL of the website is sjp.ac.lk. So frequently, it is important for you to go to this site so that you will get the latest updates. If something relevant to the whole university, the messages, those notices will be published at the university website. So especially in this area, you can see you have your faculty. This is one of the older posts, and where you can find this one. And also from this side, you can access other resources, links. So the late news and update area is the one you want to continuously monitor this. At least once a week, please visit this and see this latest news. And then the faculty website, yesterday they launched your faculty website. From this URL, you can access your faculty website. If something is relevant to your faculty, that will be displayed or published in your faculty website. You need to monitor this as well. Now, here is your faculty website. From there, you can access your university website, library, as well as LMS. So you have access to all the important sites from this. And apart from that, we have this the department category where you can find the details of your departments. And then down here, you have a few links. Right? I put it in this slide. You can access your library resources, and from this you can get any downloads available. And further, you can access your LMS via this link. Right? So you can leisurely go to these links and see their content. Right now, the most of them are empty, but as you go with this, you'll find more and more content there. And this is the library site. And when it comes to this, the learning management system, your university is using the Moodle as your learning management system. From this URL, you will be able to access your learning management system. Otherwise, you can go to the LMS to this your faculty website. And there in the Moodle, in learning management system, mostly we'll be using this to maintain the communication between student and the lecturers, because lecturers would not be able to publish their messages frequently in a faculty website or in the university website. So when they have something like lecture materials, Zoom links, and assignments, quizzes, and you can find many things like past papers, course outlines, and any other announcement will be made via this learning management system. So it is necessary to visit this site daily basis. So there will be updates. So once you're given this account, please access this, enroll into this LMS, and then you can access the resources available there. And based on the configuration, some of the alerts will be directed to your email addresses, some of the updates. And under the lecture materials, sometimes they'll put your the video lecturing and supplementary video and audios for reading, and you have PDF and PowerPoint slides, lecture materials, and also we have quizzes for mid semesters, maybe final semesters, final examinations, and also some of the lecturers might give you some practice quizzes for you to test your knowledge before the exam. Likewise, right? So there will be really important content in this LMS sites. So right now it is mostly empty, but as you go with the lectures, you'll find the content. And normally in science faculty, we're using this LMS to disseminate the tutorials and assignments. So the students can upload their assignments and tutorials to Moodle, and most of the markings will be conducted online, and the students can get the feedbacks, so they can get the gradings as well as the corrected assignments and tutorials, right? So depend on the case, sometimes they might use this LMS to conduct your mid-semester examination as well as your final examination. Either we have an online identification or a physical one. It depends on your course. Sometimes they might conduct final examinations via this LMS in a kind of a controlled environment. And this is your LMS site. Once you open it, right, you will find the login area here. Right? So you can go to this and give your user account and the password, and then you can sign into the site. And this area you can see your course departments, and under that you have your years and the relevant course. And here you would see that down there the site announcement. So depending on the template, this can be varied. Currently we have this particular template, and basically the content would be the same, but the appearance can be different, right? So in the site announcement area, right, they'll show the announcement. That's one area you want to look into. And this is your login area. From using the given username and the password, you'll be able to join into this. And if you forget the password, either you can reset it via this link, otherwise you can contact your administrator, LMS administrator. And if you open one of those links, the categories, right? So this is how the courses appears there, and that's in your case. And you can log in into these courses. You can enroll in these courses. So this can happen in basically two ways. The one would be the users can themselves enroll into the courses using the enrollment key given by the lecturer. The other would be the automatic enrollment, the manual enrollment, where the admin or the lecturer would enroll into the respective. Some of the courses, the lecturer wishes, they can keep them as open, so anybody can access those resources there. Currently, since I cannot access most of your courses, so here I have given one screenshot of the science faculty website. So the courses look like this. They are, and you can find the respective lecturers here, and this will show the sign of access, the mode of access. Currently, it is open to all of the users. Otherwise, you will see a key here. And when you access the LMS for the first time, you may need to go through this hierarchy to access your courses. Thereafter, once you enroll to a course, you can quickly access any of these courses by going into one. First, you have to log into the system. Thereafter, you can jump into this dashboard. And so through the dashboard, you will be able to access your courses directly. You don't need to go through that hierarchy again and again. Once you open a course, right, this is again a sample screen. There you will find some notices, and also here we have the Google documents, Google link, and for the Zoom room for the exam. And likewise here we have some lecture materials, assignments, quizzes, and the other side you would see the videos, recorded videos. So likewise, depend on the courses and the lecturers, the content can be varied from one lecturer to the other. It is different, and also within the course page, you would see several other notifications. If something relevant to that particular course, you would be able to see that in the right-hand side panels. And then I'll show a sample quiz, the way we can access quiz and how we conduct this exam. But definitely before having any actual quiz, there would be a pilot test or pilot quiz for you to practice. So therefore, you don't need to worry at all. Now here in this course, this is what we have given the last year to the first year students. That is the English post categorization examination for the entrance examination. There are in the course unit, right, you would see the link. Right, once you click it, right, it will direct you to the page where it display your course details, the exam details. So the instruction will be given the quiz open time, close time, and the method of assessing, and any other relevant information. Since I have attempted this, it is showing as re-attempt quiz. Otherwise, right, there will be link like attempt quiz. So that would take you to the actual quiz. So it depends on the quiz. Sometimes you would get on one attempt, sometimes maybe multiple attempts. And the quiz environments look like this, where you have quiz numbers there, the navigation. Currently we have 10 quizzes, and the question will be displayed there. It can be like it here. Sometimes it can be a textual one like this, or maybe that some images can be there. And you have your answers there. So you can select your answer and submit your answers to the LMS. And at the right hand side, right, you can see the number of questions and the attempt, and also the time remaining. Right? So all these things will be displayed. Definitely before an actual exam, you would get a pilot quiz, right, like this. So you can you have enough time to go through it. And most of the student lecturers will be using this LMS for their studies. Some of them, it is possible, the Google Classroom, right, which is very much similar to the LMS. So this would also be used to disseminate your lecture materials and conduct quizzes. Right? So these are sample screen of Google Classroom. For this, you need to have a Google account. Right? So the university email address can be used because it is also a subdomain of that. And here the Zoom account, which is which you are already using. So therefore, I don't need to explain this further. Using the Zoom account. And apart from the Zoom, sometimes lecturers might use the Google Microsoft Teams and Google Meets for their lecture. So you can, if there's a requirement, then you can install these clients as well, these software to your local machine if necessary. And to access the Google Meet again, you need to have a Google account, right? So it's mostly on these things. I hope you understand, you get some insight on this, the learning management system. But once you get access to this site with the account, you would be able to go through this site and see its features, available features. And once you start your studies, the lecturers will be given access to their courses, and you will be able to get the lecture materials and relevant the stuff from this LMS. That's all about the LMS, right? Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Kasun. Now you are moving to another important session, and now you are going to learn what are the examination regulations. That session conducted by Professor Rasika Pereira. So I would like to invite Professor Rasika Pereira to continue the session.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Miss Gaini. Sorry, I'm not familiar with the name. So let me share the screen and then start on with the lecture. Okay, so because of this bandwidth issues, I'll switch off the video from now on and conduct the lecture. So good morning, and I am Professor Rasika from the medical faculty. But I'm coming here as one of the members of the Examination Offences Investigation Committee of the university, just to highlight about examination regulations and especially a little bit of emphasis on offences. But before that, let me, on behalf of the medical faculty, welcome all of you to the newest faculty in the university. So welcome to the Jayewardenepura fraternity, and you will be, I am 100% sure, enjoying your stay and learning as well while you are in the faculty. Okay, so examination. Whatever said and done, finally, everybody who learns in a school or any other institute, and especially in a university, is interested in examinations purely because finally you are going to pass or fail, and hopefully everybody is going to pass and get a good grade, that is a class with distinction, and go out of this university with a degree with a higher grade. And if we don't have any exams, I know none of you will study. That is a fact. If we say that everybody is going to pass the course or get the degree without examination, no one, I think, is willing to go into study. Very few may, but chances are that you will not cover up everything. So examinations are the driving force behind undergraduates and whatever it is, students. So if examinations are important for students to get marks for their lectures and academics also, it's very important because we have to conduct it in a proper way so that all the students get equal opportunities and one or many does not get additional benefit. You all unmute the connect, please. I'm hearing voices, sounds coming in. Kavisha Satsarani, could you please switch off your... Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so as we were discussing, we have to ensure that all students are on a level field, all get the equal opportunities to show their colors, what they know in exam. And we should also ensure that one student does not get any additional benefit over another. So that's why examination regulations are there, one, to help in the process, getting things done, and also to ensure that students all get equal opportunities of doing the best and showing it to us. So there are general rules of examination, and then there are other specific ones as well. So these rules and regulations will be there in your student handbook, and the faculty and Professor Pradeep, your dean, will give you the 2 sets of documents regarding examination rules as well as what happens if you violate these rules and regulations that we have in the university, right? So my task today, the objective of this lecture is to highlight some of them, because the whole set of rules and regulations within 40 minutes, 45 minutes, it's impossible to cover. But I'll highlight the important ones. And at the end of this lecture, I hope that you will get it in your heads that examinations are important and doing it the proper way is also important, but because otherwise you will have consequences or you will get things in such a bad way that you may find that you can't get the degree, unfortunately, because you have violated these regulations, right? So that is why we want to ensure that all students coming in are at least aware of the general rules of examinations and adhere to that or stick to that, right? That is the objective of this lecture. So if you are conducting examinations, there are certain general rules, like, for example, all candidates should be present at the exam hall 15 minutes or before the commencement of examination. One, it makes it easier for us to look at the numbers and be ready also. But more importantly, that is 15 minutes of rest for the students before they get the paper. And you will also have time to really calm down and get ready in your mind while you are in the environment where you are going to sit for the examination, right? And also, more importantly, if you come late, you are going to disturb the supervisors and the invigilators, the examiners in your general lay terms. And most importantly, you are going to disturb your colleagues who are writing the paper. And that's not nice. Even if you don't look at the examination regulations or violations, that is definitely not something that each and every student is going to enjoy. Every time when anyone comes in, they have to look up and their thoughts, the stream of thought that's going in are broken. Then when coming in, it's very, very important to ensure that certain things are not taken into the examination hall. right? So that's why it says that candidates should take into the examination hall only essential articles which are legitimately permitted to be taken into the examination hall. So what does this mean? Your pens, paper, the pens, the pencils, the erasers, and things like that are essential articles. And sometimes a calculator may be, but a calculator has to be a simple one, unless, of course, they give permission based on the subject, right? So it's specific, right? Otherwise, it's the pen, pencils, eraser, maybe a water bottle if you want, right? And those are the things that are legitimately permitted to be taken into the hall, right? And what should not be, I'll discuss a little bit later. But most importantly, these are the things that you have to remember. In the normal university setup, the next rule is that you cannot come into the examination 30 minutes have passed from the start of the examination. That's why we say no candidate shall be permitted to enter the examination hall after 30 minutes have elapsed from the start of the examination, right? Because that, again, the disturbance will be there, and there are other consequences. Also, the chances are that the paper has got out, or someone can argue they were studying more. So all these unnecessary things are there. So we are not going to discuss as to why in detail, but that is good enough so that you have to be sure that if you are late, you are there at least 30 minutes after we have started. So don't be late. Best thing is that. Then, most essential, every candidate should bring into the examination hall the admission card, certain continuous assessment or semester exams in certain faculties. They may not say it's not necessary for this continuous assessment like small practicals and things. But in general, all examinations, you should go with your student identity card. That is a must, right? And again, from faculty to faculty, it may vary, but admission card is a must for all purposes unless specified otherwise, right? So two documents you have to bring. One is the identity card and the admission card if it has been given, right? So these are the next legitimate things that you can bring, right? And not only legitimate, they're essential. Then we come to a lot of things are there that you should not bring into the hall. But one important thing is that a candidate should produce any document, writing, or item of stationery in his possession or custody when requested to do so by the supervisor. Sorry for the mistake, the B is missing there. So if someone asks to say, okay, you have something in the pocket, please show it to us, you have to show it. And unfortunately, if it is something written, then it's not legitimate, right? So best thing is don't bring any stationery or any other things in. They are not allowed, right? So don't do that because then it will be taken as you are trying to copy, right? And people try to copy this way as well and they get caught. And unfortunately, when day before yesterday, we had the examination offences meeting and with people writing things on their handkerchiefs, pieces of paper and getting caught. Unfortunately, they have to be punished as well because otherwise they are getting a benefit that the other students are not getting. So it's not correct. That should not happen in a university. Then next one, a candidate should not ask, exchange, copy anything from or with another candidate. So that means we are going to take it with the next one. A candidate shall not permit or assist any other to copy as well. So two things, you should not copy anyway, and you should not help another one to copy as well. So if two are there who are caught, one getting a piece of paper or the answer sheet from another, both will be punished, one for copying, other one for helping. Then your conduct in the hall and in the surrounding area has to be perfect. So a candidate should conduct him or herself in the examination hall in a manner as not to cause any obstruction or harassment to the supervisor, invigilators and other candidates, and should observe absolute silence inside and in the vicinity of the exam hall. So this is very important, right? So some people have the habit of reading out what they write aloud. So please try to sort of refrain from that or murmur in such a way that no one can hear. Otherwise, someone can argue it's disturbing and sometimes it's really disturbing. right? But if you really want to shout, then nothing doing, I mean, you'll be taken out of the hall because that is not allowed at all. But I know that some students have the habit of talking to themselves while writing, right? So that cannot be done because you can give the answers to the next one nearby as well that way. Yeah. Then another point, these are not the only points, there are many, but I'm highlighting certain important ones as I mentioned before. It shall be the responsibility of every candidate to refrain from any act that may lead to any suspicion that she has committed any examination offense or is likely to commit such offense. So trying to, say for example, copy or trying to do something which is an exam irregularity is also an offense, right? So that is another important thing that we have to remember. So don't say, no, I didn't copy, but if there's evidence that you were trying to do that. Now, one example is in our faculty, in the medical faculty, we have exam hall with CCTV cameras, right? And everything is recorded. So if they try to copy, very simple, we just have to get the particular video footage and show, and that's it, right? So you can't say that I looked at it, I didn't write. Looking at this has been formed, right? So that's how it should be. So don't try to even try to do things which are exam irregularities. You should not bring any electronic devices, communication equipment, including cellular phones in. Calculators and things, if necessary, you will be specifically told that you can bring by the particular subject coordinator or the supervisor. Right? So these are the simple things that I want to highlight. Others, as I mentioned right at the beginning, you have to refer the student handbook and the examination rules and regulations. We have two sets, one prepared for the in-person exams, and a small variations are there in the one that was prepared for online examination. So university have two, and you will be given both by the faculty. So what are the examination irregularities or the offenses that they are referred to in general, but the term that we use is irregularity. One is keeping unauthorized documents printed, handwritten, or electronic in possession. Don't say I was studying before the exam and mistakenly came with it in my pocket or somewhere. That's not going to help you if it is there, because you are not supposed to bring any documents or any other printed, handwritten, or electronic devices inside. So if it is there, that is an offense. Then keeping in possession of unauthorized mobile telephones or devices capable of storing or transmission of data. That is also an offense, right? So mobile phones, that's why I said in the previous one, don't bring them in. Copying or attempting to copy in any manner. Very simple. This you have come through in your school days, A-levels, O-levels, but in the university, it's far more strict. And we have to be strict because we'll be putting out graduates who will be taking over this country in whatever field that they are taking. In your case, a different field, a new field, but they have to be going out with the proper knowledge, not what is in the books, but what they have got in the head. Right? So that is very, very important. Then sometimes we get students writing things on their body, clothes, or any other electronic forms and coming in, right? So this diagram is not from our students, right? But we have had students who have written things on the arms and other places and trying to sort of just move the dresses away and trying to have a look at them, right? So whether you have it or not, having a look at it or not is immaterial. If we find that you have written things in the body and come in, that's it. That's an exam irregularity. Then the next one, this is the full list I'm going through. Theft of intellectual property, such as reproducing others' work without stating so, or using information obtained from unauthorized sources. This may not be that clear to you, so let me explain. For example, assignments and research work, for example, you may get things from the web or from journal articles, right? So there you are able to, you have to collect data for the literature review, but you have to put a reference highlighting that you have taken it from someone else's work, right? And also you have to ensure that it's not word to word in simple terms, cut and paste. That's plagiarism, right? You can't just go on cutting and pasting whole documents or big chunks. And there's a limit to that. We have the software to check when necessary how much has been directly taken from things in the world, in the internet and books and all. And if it's above a certain percentage, it's taken as plagiarism, and then it's a punishable offense, right? So you can get data from other places, but acknowledge the people who have found that. That's the proper way of doing it, and put it in your own words. Very simple. Then to find out the contents of question papers or answer sheets unlawfully or attempt to do so. So if someone tries to sort of, tomorrow the exam is there and you try to get hold of a laborer or someone and trying to see whether you can get the paper, or at least even a single paper or single question, that's enough, right? And not only getting it, if you try to get it also, it's an offense, right? Then only people who are authorized to enter an examination should enter the hall. So if someone who is not authorized enters the hall, that is again an offense. Then if you want to leave for any legitimate purposes, you have to always take prior permission, right? And if you are doing that, you take prior permission and the supervisor will give you permission if it is legitimate. Right? Otherwise, you should not do that. So if you leave without permission, or if you try to do that, or you try to help another to leave without permission, then again, the one who tried to leave will be in trouble, and the one who have left and helped also will be in trouble. Then attempting or assisting to tear any paper, answer book, or destroying any electronic materials. Right? So sometimes you do that when you get caught. Don't try that, because there will be more than one invigilator who can give evidence for the fact. Right? So don't do it. Paper, answer books are the property of the university. They are given by the university. You can't bring paper from outside. And they have to be left the same way except for whatever that you have written. That's the only change that you can do. Then disturbing the smooth functioning and peaceful atmosphere of the examination premises. This is where I ask you not to disturb others. By different means it can be done. So if you do that, that is again taken as an exam offense, right? Don't shout, don't make noises, don't disturb others. Then there's a covering one which says behaving in a manner harmful to the self-respect of any, causing mental stress of the supervisor, invigilators, or any other unauthorized person, right? So that is also an issue. So if you are trying to intimidate, threaten, or put under stress the invigilators and the supervisors to gain an advantage over another student, then again, it's an examination offense. Then planning and attempting to harm mentally or physically the supervisors, invigilators, or any other authorized persons. I don't think we have to discuss this at all. So if you are trying to harm physically or mentally any person, whether in the exam or otherwise, it's offense. So examinations, it is definitely so. Then trying to get another person to appear at the examination, or trying to use the index number of another candidate at the examination. So this can happen by mistake, especially in the first term exam or semester exam. But mistakes can be very bad to you, because people can sometimes put another one just to see whether the other person is good and see whether they can somehow or other get that person's mark. That doesn't happen, right? So don't try it. That doesn't happen. So don't try it, because if you do that, you will be in trouble, because we'll be having two papers with the same index number, or when we collect, if the numbers are not in order, then again you are in trouble. right? So that tells us, okay, you have put a wrong number and you are going to give the marks to another person where another one is going to do the opposite, which we are not going to allow. Hacking offenses before, during, or after the examination. This is for the online examinations that we had because of the COVID situation. So, and also for others, trying to get the marks by hacking into computers and all, if caught again, is an examination offense. Impersonation, coming in place of another, right? And aiding and abetting examination irregularities, that is helping other people to commit offenses. And then next one, we find that, okay, nothing is there initially, especially in online exams, we have had this. Certain irregularities are found by the marking examiner. Same answer, right? And some of you may be familiar with this. I hope not, right? But if you try that, and if the same answer is there very obviously, same examiner will be going through, and then we look at the chances of 2, 3, 4, 5 being the same, and if the chances are very obviously very remote with the numbers we have, then you have to come to us and tell how that happened, right? So one example. So if you have copied, sometimes the invigilators in the hall may not have seen, but in the answer scripts, if it is evident, then that will also be reported by the marking examiner, and we will go through with the marking examiner on to the contents, and then you will be called upon to explain how it happened, and if it is not a genuine, believable reason, again you will be punished. Then each and everything that students or undergraduates come out cannot be there in a rule book, as we say, because students come up with newer ways of, unfortunately, cheating and getting marks. Sometimes, not all, but few. So that's why we have this other rule. Any other examination irregularity is as determined by the Examination Offences Investigation Committee. So that is the blanket one, where we find that people have done certain things, but they are not listed in the previous numbers, but still you can't say, no, it's not in the listed in the list. No, that is not an excuse that you will be able to give, right? And it's the same with the general rules in the university as well. If you go through the student handbook, by now you would have seen. If not, when you go through the student handbook, you will see. So the simple message after going through that, those few slides, is that please don't do anything that is listed there. Or in other words, don't even think of new ways of doing it. Why? You're coming here to get a degree, right? And if you study properly, do your work properly, in the university system, we don't have any restrictions in you getting marks or classes. If all are good, you will get good marks and you will get your grades higher. But if you make an examination offense, finally, you are going to get punished. And these are the listed punishments that can come. One is cancellation of answer scripts and limiting the marks. Pass mark, one student has asked. Medical faculty, our pass mark is 50. In most of the other faculties, it will be 40, right? So in the rules and regulations and in the, what you call is your curriculum, it will be clearly mentioned, right? So I'm coming from another faculty, that is the medical faculty. Our pass mark is 50. For example, in the science faculty, it is 40. So there are small differences, but in general, with the GPAs coming in, it's 40, right? But for your faculty, specific ones will be given by the faculty with the curriculum, right? So what are the punishments? Cancellation of answer scripts and limiting the marks of the repeat exam to that of an ordinary pass, right? So your script will be cancelled, and the maximum mark will be that of a simple pass, ordinary pass, or what we call a C grade, Even if you are getting an A after copying, very obviously you can't give the A, so it will be a C. Then delaying the release of final results by 1 academic year. Now you have completed everything, but your results will not be released. So that means you will not get the degree for 1 year. Why should you get into unnecessary issues there like that? So don't try that. That's not going to help you. You come here to get the degree, get the education, get the practical skills, and then go out and work for the country and the world if possible, right? So you're not there just to wait another year just because you have committed an offense. Don't try that, right? And then third one will be not inviting for the convocation or the award ceremony. That is something that the undergraduates and the parents all look forward to, right? The convocation. But if you do that, based on the offense and the decision of the Senate, final decision on the punishment is by the Senate and the council, you may not be allowed to come into the convocation after all the hard work that you have done, purely because you have done an examination offense. Right? Then cancellation of results of the particular course unit and the adjustment of maximum marks that can be obtained in a resitting to the marks equivalent to an ordinary pass. This is a technical one, which you will not understand, but this is something where if a part of a course unit is copied, there can be certain adjustment made when you are resitting to the marks, so that finally what you get is an ordinary pass, even if you have done the mistake of committing an offense. Then number 5, sorry, again, in the preparation, number 5 is not to award classes or merit passes. And if it's a grave one, like threatening someone or supervisor or anyone, it may be even suspension of studentship by 1 year. This is different to withholding results for 1 year. This is studentship is cancelled. You can't come to the university for 1 year. Then if it is a very, very grave one, suspension of studentship even for 2 to 3 years can be done based on the severity, right? And all these are given in detail. I'll show you 2 examples later, right? Then suspension of studentship by 4 years or 5 years. So these differences are there purely because it will depend on the severity of the offense that you have done. And the final one is cancellation of studentship. You are no longer an undergraduate of this university. You can't come back again. Now, sometimes impersonation, if someone is coming in your place and that person may not be a student, then action will be taken according to the law of the land, right? The general law of the country will apply. Then the next one is, if someone is found to be in the wrong and committed an offense, that person may not be recruited to the staff of the university as academic or a non-academic, either temporary or in a permanent position. So that is another thing. Some students, when they pass out, like us, they want to be lecturers and go up in the academic field. So you will not be recruited purely because there's a black mark exam offense hanging over your head because you have done that and found to be punishable under the rules and regulations of the university. I'm taking 2 examples because in the regulations, there will be the offense on one column and the punishment on the other side. I just take 2 and explain how to sort of go through them. Once you get the documents, please go through. For example, 2.4, this is in the online one, keeping unauthorized notes on the body, clothes, or any other electronic forms. These are the punishments that the student will get. Holding the release of final results by 1 academic year. The results are not released for 1 year. Not to invite for the convocation or award ceremony. Then cancellation of results of that exam that you have copied. And in the resitting or the repeat exam, only a simple pass or a C grade will be given, right? So like that, if we take another example, theft of intellectual property, such as reproducing others' work without stating, or using information obtained from unauthorized sources. This is what I talked about, getting things from the internet and others in the research projects, finally research projects and other assignments. If you plagiarize or take things without proper referencing, these are the punishment: not to award classes, merit passes, suspend the studentship by 1 year, not to recruit to the staff of the university, academic or non-academic, temporary or permanent, right? So each punishment and each offense are going together. So if you commit an offense, what is on the right-hand column will be given, the punishment. So look at the left column to see what you should not do, and ensure that you don't have to look at the right-hand side column if you have done so. That's the best advice I can give, right? So that is why we want you all to again highlight and ask you to refer examination rules and regulations document long before the exams start, right? That will tell you what not to do in simple. That's what is important. If you don't do anything wrong, you're not going to get punished. And you can go out as a graduate without any hindrance, any difficulties, and then do whatever you want, whatever you decide based on the availability, and even come here to our own university and be academic as well. So remember, this is not what we want. Standing at the back, looking at and seeing whether you are copying and you are sweating all the time. No. Because if you are doing the correct thing, you don't have to be scared. University is not going to do anything. Supervisors are not going to do anything. Invigilators are not going to do anything because you have done the correct thing. But if you are copying, you will sweat. Why? Because finally, if you are caught, you are going to get punished. Otherwise, it's grossly unfair by the students who legitimately or the proper way study and write answers. And that is the only reason I think that you have to remember. If one student really studies and gets the marks and another one copies and gets it, then it's not fair by the one who studied to get a lower mark and the one who copied to get a higher mark. So that is the message that I have today regarding examination offenses, right? But give me 2-3 minutes to talk about another thing. Yeah, so there's a question. Can you please explain the GPA, merit passes? So those things will be done in the curriculum, where they will explain how the GPAs are calculated, how many credits are there. All these will be done to you and explained to you by the faculty, right? So because that's another important thing which can't be done in a few minutes, because GPA system, I know from the A levels you are not familiar with. So they will explain it to you under examination, not the rules and regulation, but regarding the examinations and how they are conducted in your new faculty. Okay, coming back. So you're having a new beginning, right? New in the sense that it's new to you, new to the faculty, because it's a new faculty, new to the university, because it's a new faculty in the university, and new to the country, because very simply, the first time that we are having such a faculty in Sri Lanka, right? This is our faculty. Why am I showing this? If you come this way, from the main university premises a little bit way down, this is the Faculty of Medical Sciences, the new building. There are others. This is the new building. And as one of the past students of this Faculty of Medical Sciences, I also was there in your shoes 31 batches back, because I am a member of the first batch of medical students to come into this faculty. And I'm proud of my university and I'm proud of my faculty. So our faculty, this is the biochemistry. That is the building that I showed. This is one of the labs that we have, and this is the anatomy lab, right? So it's very nice now. But there has to be a beginning, as I told you in the second set. This is how we started as students, right? This is our anatomy hall. And this is another photo from a different angle. These are the places we did what we call the dissections. We dissected the cadavers, dead bodies, and learned, right? And these are my colleagues doing the dissections in these trolleys because we didn't have proper tables, right? But this is my body group, part of my body group, and most of them are consultants and very senior consultants and some very senior, I would say, robotic surgeons and others in other countries. So why I'm telling this is because of one very important thing. You all are the pioneers. You all are the ones who are going to start this faculty, and you are the ones who are going to show to the world what this faculty is about. The Faculty of Urban and Aquatic Bioresources, right? How you behave and how you perform. A lot of people will be looking into, so there's a lot of responsibility for you. We built the faculty from what I showed you to this level because we were working with the academic and non-academic staff. If you really want, we came on March 11th, 1993, after waiting 3 years to get into the university because of certain problems we had in the country. But when we came until November 1st, in the same year, we didn't have even a place to sit. We were sitting underneath trees in the main university. But we knew that we can develop. We didn't protest. I'm not saying that protesting is bad, right? Sometimes you have to. But we knew that there were issues, and we, with the others, slowly developed the faculty. And whatever the faculty that is there today is because of the students and the staff getting together and working. So I hope that you remember that as the pioneers of your own faculty, do everything to ensure that the faculty develops very, very fast, and the level, the quality of education in your new faculty is the best, and that can be done only by you. So all the very best for the pioneers of the Faculty of Urban and Aquatic Bioresources. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. Professor Ashika Perera is a professor in clinical biochemistry, who is attached to the Department of Biochemistry, Faculty of Medicinal Studies in Medicinal Sciences in University of Sri Jayewardenepura. Actually, thank you very much for the very informative and motivational lecture that you have shared with our students today. On behalf of the Faculty of Urban and Aquatic Bioresources, I pay my sincere appreciation for accepting our invitation to deliver a talk about the examination regulations to educate our new students in your busy schedules. So thank you once again, and thank you very much for your valuable time, sir.
Thank you very much for inviting. Okay, thank you very much, and all the best.